But if you add to that a few other facts that are of concern, at least to me, was the judge's original contribution to President Biden 4 years ago, which he made himself, very small contribution, $35.
Yeah, I think it was $10, right?
$35, I'm told, $35. A small contribution, but he made it through ActBlue himself on the internet. He did give an interview where he said he wouldn't comment on the case, but then he said he's been intensely preparing and he wants to be fair and impartial, and justice is important. He and his daughter discussed the former president's use of social media, which the judge condemned in that discussion, and the daughter reported on it. The Office of Court Administration said the daughter's Twitter account ended a year ago, so any recent posts on that were not from the daughter. Yeah. And I kind of wondered why the Office of Court Administration was defending the daughter.
So look, any way you slice it, there's a whole bunch of reasons why this judge should not be on the case. There's a whole bunch of reasons why he has ethical issues and that nobody's going to buy this. And everybody's going to turn around and say, well, of course, it was in the bag. It was totally rigged. You don't want that when you have the first president in the history of this country to be on trial. It is so unbelievably wrong. And yet they're going to do it. They're going to do it anyway. And I predict, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to help him. Think about what's at stake. CNN just told us, what is this, 4 out of 5 days he's going to be in court instead of campaigning? Watch.
Starting next week, Donald Trump will be forced to sit in court 4 days a week as prosecutors try to convince a jury he broke the law when he allegedly falsified business records to cover up hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. The first big question, who will be on the jury for this historic trial? CNN has obtained the jury questionnaire. CNN's Caitlin Polance.
Okay, well, I've obtained the jury questionnaire as well. And I can tell you one of the first questions they're going to ask you. So, okay, if any of you guys are out there in New York and you're watching right now, remember how you need to answer these. You're going to be out if you listen to this podcast, basically. The first one is, do you listen to or watch podcasts? If so, which ones? So, yeah, if you listen to this, if you listen to Rogan or Bongino or Shapiro or any of these things, I have a feeling you're out. Do you listen to talk radio? If so, which programs? Okay, if you listen to Buck and Clay, I'm telling you, you're out. Do you currently follow Donald Trump on any social media site, or have you done so in the past? I mean, do these questions feel a little bit like one-sided? Is it just me? It's like, if you're a conservative, you're out. So if you're on Truth Social, you're not going to have to serve on this jury. Potential jurors are also going to face a quiz like none other while being considered here. First criminal trial in the history of this great country. The first time you've had a former president of the United States actually have to sit for this. One of the questions will be, have you ever considered yourself a supporter of or belonged to any of the following? The QAnon movement, the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Boogaloo Boys, or Antifa. I mean, at least they threw Antifa in there. They've got 500 people that have been sent notices saying they have to show up for this one. And I actually think they all want to be on it. I'm betting they all want to be on it because this is history in the making. I mean, I'd want to be on that one. And I definitely don't want to be on any jury if I can help it. Not until I'm retired, at which point it might be interesting. But this one, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this will be fascinating. This is a front row seat to history. The question is, can you possibly ever get an unbiased jury pool in Manhattan? I don't think so. I think we know that the odds are pretty much stacked against him there. Prosecutors and lawyers are going to select 12 here. So they've got 12 plus a few alternates, and they're going to try to make sure that these people are not really biased politically one way or the other. In other words, you can't like them or dislike him, despite the fact that he is what we would call a high beta personality, right? You know, or in the television business, they call it a Q score. He's got a really high Q score. Everybody knows who he is. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people love him. But they've got a feeling either way. So this is going to be challenging. He has entered, of course, as you know, a not guilty plea, 34 counts of falsification of business records in this particular case, all stemming from the Stormy Daniels alleged hush money payments. You know, they got his former accountant, remember him, and his lawyer and everything to work against him in favor of them. Here is how the judge is describing the case to jurors. This is according to a court filing that has just been made public. I read, the allegations are in substance that Donald Trump falsified business records to conceal an agreement with others to unlawfully influence the 2016 presidential election. Specifically, it is alleged that Donald Trump made or caused false business records to hide the true nature of payments made to Michael Cohen, there you go, by characterizing them as payment for legal services rendered pursuant to a retainer agreement. The people allege that, in fact, the payments were intended to reimburse Michael Cohen for money he paid to Stephanie Clifford, also known as Stormy Daniels. I honestly can't believe we're here. I really can't believe we're here. In the weeks before the presidential election to prevent her from publicly revealing details about a past sexual encounter with Donald Trump. Wow. Okay, so they're going to get 42 questions. Some of them are pretty mundane, like, what do you do for a living? Have you ever served on a jury before? And then some are kind of interesting, like, have you ever been to a Trump rally or any campaign event for that matter? And, of course, what podcast do you listen to? What YouTube channels do you listen to? Oh, dear. Oh, dear.